Welcome to Food and Loathing, where we like to think of ourselves as the reason you need Ozempic. Because we do everything we can to make you hungry. I'm your host, Al Mancini. My co-host, Gemini Stevens, continues her travels today. She'll be back on next week's show. And the two of us are actually going to be co-hosting the Chefs for Kids Gala together on Saturday, March 28th, if you want to see us in person and make sure that, I haven't hidden Gemini in a closet anywhere. She's still out there. Don't worry. She's doing well, and we're going to see you at Chefs for Kids. But in the meantime, a really special guest co-host today, Rob Kachelriess of CityCast Las Vegas, will be joining me in this co-host chair. He and I actually attended quite a few of the same events this past week, so we're going to have plenty to talk about, I think. And of course, we have Rich Johnson working all of his magic on the back end, smoothing out my mistakes so the show sounds professional and all. With that said, allow me to welcome our guest, co-host Rob Kachelriess of CityCast Las Vegas. How the hell are you, Rob?
I am doing great. How are you, Al?
I'm doing okay, man. I think we're both having a slightly hectic day today, but look, it's beautiful outside.
It's beautiful. I think we have 2.5 days of spring before we jump straight into summer and greet these record temperatures that are hitting Las Vegas right now.
So I feel like I should go on one of those polymarket betting things. What do you think the chances are that we're going to get another cold blast by Vegas standards?
Cold blast?
Yeah.
I think we're done with the cold blast, aren't we?
I think we are. We usually have one in March, but we haven't really had one this March.
I'm hoping for that rare spring shower. I want a little more rain.
Oh, I hate the rain.
Yeah, but I just always associate spring with windy in Vegas and allergies and all the other fun stuff we've grown to know and love.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're all walking around wiping our noses and sniffling these days here in Las Vegas, but it is beautiful out. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I like to take the dog for a nice long walk. I've got the jacuzzi filled up in the backyard. I haven't thrown the shock treatment in it yet, but
You're ready to go.
You're
ready for summer.
I'm ready for doing some tubbing, baby, some tubbing. So, Rob, let's talk about CityCast Las Vegas, what it is, what you do over there. I know there have been some shakeups, but it is really, if you want a Vegas-based podcast, here we focus exclusively on food. There are some people who do good food podcasts. There are some people who do good gossip podcasts. I believe Vegas CityCast is just such a great place for, I would put it like the NPR crowd, people that really, really want to know what's happening in their neighborhood.
There's definitely some overlap there. There's a little overlap with traditional news as well, but it really is locals focused, and we talk about everything. We do touch on food here and there, and but also it could be local politics, it can be history, it could be news of the day and what's going on. CityCast Las Vegas is a daily podcast and a daily newsletter. It's all free, and the website as well, which we keep up to date, which kind of coincides with what we do on the newsletter. And we're doing some changes this year. Those will be announced in the weeks and months to come, but we're also about to hire a new full-time podcast host. Right now, Sonia Cho Swanson, our executive producer, who's moving on from the company, she's filling in as temporary fill-in co-host and is doing an amazing job right now. But we're going to have some announcements and things to come, but it'll still be the CityCast that people know and love. And if you haven't checked it out now, it's a great time with so much happening. It's an election year. There's so many new things coming to Las Vegas.
So you guys are going to deep dive into stuff I don't touch here because it ruins people's appetites, right?
Yeah, well, we try to make this boring election stuff palatable, a little bit fun, and just be part of the conversation and full of information that people want to know about. It's kind of like sitting at a bar, talking to your friend, what kind of things would come up. And we try not to give you kind of the same old topics. We try to put a new spin on things and give it a nice conversational edge.
Cool, man. Well, I love CityCast. I love when you guys ask me to be on it. That even makes me even more flattered. But I love listening to it. I love the people that you have on as guests know what the fuck they're talking about.
And that's important too. We're very careful about who we allow on. Actually, it sounds like I'm gatekeeping. I mean, who we invite on. There's so many knowledgeable people out there in different categories, and it's made for some compelling conversations.
Yeah, look, it's not gatekeeping when you want to when you want to learn something and therefore educate your listeners, you should go to people who know something about that topic. I know that's a level of elitism that some people don't like in America. They think anybody can do any fucking job.
Right.
But,
and also we're in an era where journalism in general is getting vilified. So when we can invite people on that really know what they're talking about, I mean, some recent topics have included, what's going on with like NV Energy and their rate increase / non-increase, whatever they're claiming to do. How do you explain that to the average person, the average customer who's already dealing with enough in their day? So we talk about things like that. We talk about what's going on with Lake Mead. And, then sometimes we might talk about, where you can get a good taco as well.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
Cool. Well, everybody should check it out. Make sure they sign up for the newsletter, which I know you're heavily involved with as well.
Yes, the newsletter is my baby.
Okay, so Rob is here. We have some great interviews for you this week, actually. The resort at Summerlin, which was previously known as JW Marriott Rampart Casino.
The artist formerly known as JW Marriott.
Let's give it a little squiggle sign. Yeah. It's in the process of adding 2 more restaurants to its growing portfolio. By the time you listen to this, they may be totally open to the public. I know they did some big giveaways, taco giveaways and things like that.
Yes.
But the 2 new spots are Tacos 1986 and For the Win Burgers. Rob and I both dined there last week, back when he was blowing me off that he couldn't do this podcast.
Well, I want to thank Don for filling in for me.
Yes, Don and I and Rob all
Gemini.
dined there last week. So we're going to be speaking about that shortly. And then in the middle of the show, I have interviews with both Tacos 1986's Jorge Humberto Alvarez Tostalo, a.k.a. Chef Joy, and For the Win's founder, Santos Uy. And I apologize if I got that wrong. It's spelled U-Y. I also this week spoke with... Uy, yes, but I don't think it's Oi.
All right.
Okay.
I tried.
I also spoke with Robby Cunningham at the official grand opening celebration of Guerrilla Pizza, where the mayor of Las Vegas cut the first ceremonial pizza. I love that. No ribbon cutting. It was a pizza cutting.
Yes. Is the mayor pro-pizza?
She is pro-pizza.
Did she take a stand?
She is pro-pizza, so she's running on the pro-pizza platform, I guess. So over there, I spoke to Robby, and we got a little tape of the mayor. I also visited the 303 in the Cut pop-up at the Red Rock Resort, where I spoke to that company's owner. Got Red Rock's Joe Yalda at that pop-up. I caught up with him. So lots of people. You're going to be hearing from lots of people, not just me and Rob. But, first up, you know how we do this show. And some friends... And I'm looking at you, Rob, because you may have been the friend who suggested this. I don't remember, honestly. It could have been Don. It could have been somebody. But have suggested maybe we mix up the flow of the show. Like move the segments around, maybe move the news up to the beginning.
That was my suggestion. And maybe you should quiz the audience. Do they want the little news nuggets at the end of the show to be at the beginning of the show? Almost like a little monologue news headlines kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then going into the deeper dive stuff in the interviews.
Okay. Well, anyway, you said that to me, and I said, look, we're coming up on our 5-year anniversary. We should definitely mix things up a little bit. But as Arya Stark said to the god of death, not today.
Great idea, but no thanks.
Yes. No, man. But, maybe for the 5th anniversary, we will.
But you know what? Congratulations on 5 years.
Thank you. We're still a few months out from it. I believe I'm actually going to be in Italy during our 5-year anniversary.
Well, it's a great way to celebrate.
Yeah.
Well, research, right?
Yes, research. I'll be eating a lot of food. Sue and I will be hopefully renewing our wedding vows in Italy for our 35th anniversary.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And so it'll be our 35th anniversary. It'll be this podcast 5-year anniversary. It's all coming right around the same time.
Congratulations on both.
Thank you. So we're sticking to the old formula today. No, as much as I love your suggestion, Rob. So that means you have to start us off by telling us about some of the places you've eaten over the past few weeks, preferably the really good ones. But if you want to trash somebody, you're welcome to do that too.
Well, let's start with a casual place. I like my wine. And I've really become a fan of Crush Pad Wine Bar.
Gemini is a big fan of Crush Pad.
I've actually run into Gemini there.
Okay.
So, I don't get there as often as I'd like. And my wife and I were married. We were thinking, where should we go? Let's go somewhere. And we're like, just go to Crush Pad. It was a very kind of spontaneous thing. And what I love is you walk in there, you sit there at the bar. We sit at the bar, but they have a nice kind of beautiful rustic hangout lounge kind of feel. We sit at the bar. We look right at the wine lists on the wall. On the left, you have classics. And then on the right, you've got curious. So we tend to skew more towards the curious. We kind of like some of the funkier, unusual wines. We're a big fan of low intervention wines or natural wines, if you want to call them that. There's a little ferment in the bottle. We kind of like that. A little lighter bodied, old world European villages, that kind of thing. But we were talking to one of the bartenders, and he's like a big kind of classic Italian guy. So he was skewing us into that direction as well and giving us some suggestions on some bigger, bolder Italian flavors. We had Sangiovese that was really good. And I really liked their charcuterie plates because they're always good, and they're fun too because they divide them up into French, Italian, and Spanish.
So it could be a charcuterie plate, a salumi plate, or what's Spanish? What do the Spanish call it?
El plato?
I don't know. Maybe.
Biblioteca?
I don't know. Is that the library?
I think that's the library.
Okay.
My Spanish is a little rusty, but it's like, so you'll get like on the Spanish plate, which we got, I think it's 3 different cheeses. 2 of them were goat cheeses and then 2 meats. One was a spread, and it was just so good. I mean, it's what you would expect in a charcuterie plate, but just well sourced and complements the wine so well. And I just really love what they do. So congratulations to Crush Pad as well, because their 2-year anniversary is coming up.
Wow, congrats.
I felt like it opened yesterday.
I know, it feels new. Everything feels new when you get old. It's the older I get, the newer everything feels.
The time is flying by.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And where are they located again?
So they're on the corner of Sahara and Buffalo. It's where, if you remember, Eat used to be.
Oh, okay.
With
yes.
2 T's.
Yes. Very cool place. I'm sorry. While we're watching this, TMZ's on in the background, and we're literally watching a story. Dancing restaurant robot causes a ruckus.
Oh, my gosh.
And they're all trying to calm a dancing restaurant robot on. I don't know what that means, but people, if you want some fun video, go look that up.
This is a sign that AI can't be controlled and contained even in a restaurant.
So Crush Pad, man, that's awesome. Yeah. I maybe, if you're learning Italian wines over there and Sue's trying to learn the Italian language, maybe we go out with you and Mary and we introduce her to some Italian grape varietals before our trip.
We would be down with that. And Crush Pad always does like little events and tastings and classes and stuff too. So you can always look that up, see what's going on there, and check them out. Speaking of wine, we also ended up at BOA Steakhouse.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the things you're doing, but I was just reading what you wrote for Neon Feast about BOA Steakhouse. So please do tell.
Yeah, so I only had a chance to check it out when they did a grand opening, and it was a ton of people and it was very busy. So we came back, sat down, had a normal dinner, and I was just really impressed with it because sometimes there's a new steakhouse in Vegas and you're like, okay, maybe it'll be a little pricey and maybe it'll be a little fancy, but maybe it's just going to be the same old stuff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't super familiar with the original BOA, the original Las Vegas BOA.
Okay, I was going to say, is the originals in San Diego maybe or Southern California somewhere?
I thought it was
I could be way off.
Santa Monica or something.
Okay,
but don't quote me on that. I thought it was a California.
It could be Santa Monica. I was just in Santa Monica recently. Someplace I was recently. I saw one. Yeah,
but it's spread out a little bit. It has some locations around the country. Not a lot, like a handful. But they tried coming to Vegas many years ago and closed up 14 years ago after having a run at the Forum Shops. They're now back at that space that's right next to Sushi Samba, which we kind of universally know as a cursed space.
Yeah.
A lot of things have come and gone there.
Emerald was up there. We had our first Nikkei restaurant up there, second floor. There was a while where it was easy to get to that because there was an escalator that like went right up into it, but then they took the escalator out and it really became cursed up there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you want to take away an escalator, you're going to make people mad. But I really liked, do you remember that restaurant Onse?
Yeah, Onse. That was the Nikkei restaurant.
Yeah. That was so good. But you know what? I think BOA is going to break the curse because I really like what they're doing. They've totally remodeled that space. So it feels like different pockets of different rooms and corners, layered ceilings. It's got this nice kind of bright wood decor, but the lighting's right. And all the influencers out there, you'll be happy to know there's this one like little lamp right above each table that's like perfect for capturing photos.
Except for those overhead shots. That's how they get you. You can't do the straight downs,
because they're going to be blocking that.
Yeah,
but I usually take one photo of the side, and that's it per dish.
I love restaurants that care about the lighting for food. I mean, it makes your life so much easier. And let's face it, if you're a good restaurant, probably half of your tables, somebody's going to be taking pictures, whether you like it or fucking not. Right. And then you see them online and you don't like them. So get the lighting in, man. You should, every restaurant, when it's being designed, Rob, and I've been saying this for years, they should, when they have their architects come in, they should talk about how the tables will be lit for people that want to shoot food at the tables. Of course, you can't make it perfect, but you can make it better with overhead bright lightings. If it can come in from more than one angle at a time, so you don't have that shadow problem. There's a lot that can be done. And I got to tell you, restaurateurs, every one of you, you can all go online and talk about how fucking stupid I am. But that being said, I think that you would do more by investing in that, investing in the quality of the photos that the idiot, amateurs like me shoot when they're there, then you spend on an ad campaign, because I think that would do a lot for you.
Well, that's the thing is when you look up a restaurant, or when the average person looks up a restaurant, in addition to the website, they're going to come across maybe some Google reviews or a Yelp listing, and those are going to be overrun with just average, poorly lit, fuzzy photos.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you an idea of what it's about without the filters. But also, I mean, if you want your restaurant to look good, have some good built-in lighting to begin with. And what's good about BOA, it's not like bright, like it's in your face.
And that's the trick, of course.
Yeah,
good lighting that doesn't fuck up the ambiance for the customer.
It's on the table. You feel good. And that's something my wife, Mary, is picky about. She doesn't like restaurants that are too bright. She doesn't like music that's too loud. So when you get those two things right and in balance, she's happy.
Yeah.
And then I'm happy. But just, like a quick rundown of what they do. There's some things I think have been on the menu over the years that haven't gone away, that are still there. One of them is this like goat cheese baklava, which is an appetizer and not a dessert, although it could kind of work as a dessert. They're doing the Wagyu cigar thing where, you've seen some other restaurants around here kind of pick up on that trend. They do a tableside Caesar, but they add a little Tabasco to it. So there's a little bit of spice to it. So, it's kind of like a risky move, but
you could probably ask them to tone that down if they're making it to order, right?
Yes, which is actually what we did, because Mary does not like spicy.
Me and Mary.
But the steaks are good. They got some Japanese cuts that are really high end, some Wagyu, some A5. But also, I kind of like how they have a simple section that's just kind of like fillets, ribeyes, New York strips, and here's some different versions of that. So if you want the bone-in, or if you want this, or an F1, pick one out. And they also have some packages where, if you want to get something for a large table, they'll mix up some of those cuts. And they do an omakase. And I'm like, okay. And I think it even says like market price or something on there, right, or maybe to be determined. But when I was talking to the server, he's like, you know what? Tell us your preferences. Tell us your price, and we'll come up with something for you. And I think that's great. I would love to see restaurants do that more. So if you walk in on day night and you say, okay, maybe $200 a person, what would this look like? And then you don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah.
And they just kind of bring out what they think an ideal meal is going to be.
I mean, let's face it, isn't that how you and I dine at a lot of places? A lot of times I walk into restaurants when I'm paying my own way in a restaurant, and they come up and they're like, oh, what would you like? And I'm like, okay, look, man, I know you guys, there's shit you want me to eat. So here's the deal. We're just two of us. We're trying to get out of here for $350 for the two of us, all in. What could you do? Like, even if that's just appetizers, do that for me. But what can you do?
That's actually what it made me think of. I'm like, okay, this is like giving anybody who comes in sort of the opportunity to have the media meal that you talk about on your podcast every week, that a lot of local journalists and influencers experience when they get invited into restaurants. It's kind of like getting the greatest hits of what they do, some signature dishes and that kind of thing. So go into BOA, look at the omakase, and just kind of give them an idea of what you want. I think they'll take dietary restrictions into account.
I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. Bravo. I'm trying to set myself up at BOA for a media meal next week. Of course, it's different. We're on media comp, then they give us what they want us to give us. But I think for other people to be able to do that, and I have to tell you, BOA, the first time around, I didn't pay that close attention to BOA because I'm not that big of a steakhouse guy. And I liked steakhouses that were sort of Vegas born, with a Vegas specific idea, right?
But that Vegas swagger built in.
Some
right?
kind, yeah. Whether it's the swagger of Prime or the nostalgia of Circus. Like I wanted my steakhouses or the club of STK, the clubbiness, right? I always wanted something. And the fact that BOA was from out of town, it made me go, oh, well, whatever. Another great steakhouse. Vegas has more of them than we can handle. Over the years, I've gotten to know some people that work with that company. I've gotten to know some employees. I just saw one of their employees out at Venetian, a guy that works there, when I was judging cocktail competition. But the thing I've noticed about them is the quality of the people that I know who work for them and how good they are, how seriously they take hospitality. That's given me a new respect for BOA. That's made me excited about going back more than any of the other, steakhouses that I just might not give a shit about because, people, it seems like a very hospitality-based company.
Yeah, our service was excellent. Our server was great at answering questions. And I was even kind of quizzing him a little bit about the old BOA versus the new one. And he was pretty good about that, considering he had never even been to the previous one before. One of the managers who came up, actually, I recognized him from Sushi Roku.
Right, which is a sister restaurant.
Right, so they're under kind of the same umbrella, which I didn't quite realize until I sat down and thought about it. But Sushi Roku at the Forum Shops, I think, is one of the more underrated Japanese restaurants on the Strip. That place is so good, and they care about their sourcing. And one of the things that he pointed out to me was they kind of get their fish from the same place. So that same high quality, carefully sourced seafood that you're going to get at Sushi Roku, that's similar to what you're going to get at BOA when you order seafood, whether it's entrees or appetizers. So don't overlook that part of the menu as well.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks. And if I go in next week, then we'll be talking about this again next week. Any place else, Rob, that you've been?
I've been to Al Mancini's house.
Yeah, well, that's always fun. Did I pour you a good drink?
Always, actually.
So anything else? Or are we going to
skip for now?
Okay, cool.
I want to know where you've been. Where
the hell have I been? Let's talk about that, and because I know you've been to some of these places as well. Some great meals this past week. Regular listeners know that I've been diving deep into the Bend in recent weeks. So this week, Sue and I made a return visit to St. Felix Sin City.
Which we actually ran into you there once when we were in.
Yes, we've dined here before. You were at the next table. After that meal, my impression, which I shared on this show, was that the kitchen staff knew what they were doing, very much so. And the owner, John Arakaki, clearly has a personal point of view that's represented on the menu. And that's a rarity.
There's definitely a vibe in the decor and on the menu that goes together.
Yes. Yeah. And it's original and it's quirky and it's cool for a little taverny hangout bar-y place like this. So at the time, I hadn't fallen in love with any dishes yet, but I was basically saying the place is great. I haven't found my favorites yet, right? So now I have. I went back.
All right.
I did the happy hour menu. And okay, just drop dead. The pierogies are fucking great. I used to help my mom make pierogies as a kid. I got to cut the dough and I got to pinch the corners with a fork.
Just like Martha Stewart, Al.
Well, I was going to say, right, I went in there, I got 5 pierogies. They're topped with sauteed onions, a drizzle of sour cream, and some chives, $13 during happy hour. Now, go over to Martha Stewart's, it's $40 for an order of pierogies.
That's a big difference.
And I'm saying, I've had them both. I like them both. And for the money, I would come here any fucking day of the week. You don't get the option of topping them with caviar here, which Martha gives you at the Bedford, but you can add short rib if you want. John wanted me to add short rib. I'm like, no, I want to taste
They're very big on the short rib over there. They have an entree that was the first thing that was recommended to me, and it was quite good. I think it comes with, I'm not sure if this is part of it or not, but I believe there's goat cheese mashed potatoes that are really good over there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I would point out that John doesn't really like them crispy, so they're not crispy. These are doughy, but they're fucking great, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I would take a little bit of a, pan saute, a little bit myself. That's just me. That's how mom made them, but, really, really fucking good. Also love the house-made potato chips. They come in 2 colors, white and purple.
Yes.
And then they come with an upscale version of kind of onion soup mix dip that we all loved when we were starving college kids, right? So, and the bell pepper coulis that came with the arancini, the dipping sauce, really, really good. And by the way, you should check out the patio here while the weather's nice, because I think we got a few more weeks of nice weather. And then, of course, you're going to be begging for misters, and they've got a nice patio.
The Bend is one of the best places if you just want to hang out outside, not just at St. Felix, but also Butcher and Thief, the steakhouse. And I believe I talked about them last time I was here. But they have that kind of like synergy between indoor spaces, outdoor spaces. And we were on the patio of Evolve. the brewery.
Yeah.
That's right there not too long ago. And it was just like so nice. So enjoy the weather while you can because it's heating up.
And St. Felix's patio is much of it is facing sunset, right? Instead of facing the rest of the bend.
Yeah.
So slightly different point of view. They got a nice rock, a swing, a porch swing they put in there. Tacky as hell with the decorations, just as I love the place.
And a beautiful view of IKEA.
Yeah. Okay, where else we been, man? I've already been down to Guerrilla Pizza. Have you been down there?
I have. I took some pizza to go not too long ago, and those guys are just nailing it. That beautiful rectangular square-ish Detroit-style pie. They get it just right, with the cheese spread out, a little bit of the crispy edges. I love what they're doing.
Cool. Well, I have been there before, and I have chatted with Robby Cunningham on this show. But we went down there on Friday when Mayor Shelley Berkeley was there for their grand opening, and she dropped by. There's no ribbon cutting.
No,
she dropped by to cut the ceremonial first pizza and take a big old slice and a bite out of it, and she seemed to enjoy it.
And I'm excited for all of you, and now comes the big moment. This is so appropriate. We're not doing a crummy ribbon cutting. Anybody can do a ribbon cutting. How many mayors get to cut a pizza? Not that many. So I'm going to give that a shot.
And to review, she's pro pizza.
She is. That's what we just said. And afterwards, I asked Robby what he thought of having the mayor at his opening.
Pretty unreal, not gonna lie. I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest with you, but this is pretty cool. Just being back downtown and serving the mayor. She loved her slice, so she knows what good pizza is. So
how have the first few weeks gone for you?
First few weeks have been awesome. Starting to get busier and busier. Now that the weather's getting nicer, we're going to get a lot more foot traffic. We have a big, beautiful sign that just went up last night, so we're good to go.
Cool. And for people who think they know Detroit pizza but haven't had yours, what do they need to know about real Detroit pizza?
You got to get something that's crispy on the bottom, but still has like a nice pillowy, soft fluff. It should be a soft slice still, but be crispy on the bottom, and you have to have that crispy cheese crust. That's what it's about.
So anyway, Sue and I had some great pizza while we were at Guerrilla, but we wanted to stay in the Arts District. I'm getting to that age where if I go out once, I'm not going out again that night. Once my ass gets home, I'm pretty much locked in. I'm going to eat an edible and just fucking park it in front and watch Billy the Kid on MGM Plus or something, man.
Well, it's easy now just to kind of roam from space to space. If you end up at a place like the Arts District, you may not even have a destination in mind, but you just kind of see where the night takes you.
Exactly. So we went over to Arts Square. It's known, we went to Nocturno, which is one of 3 great cocktail bars in that area. It's also has some food by our friend DJ Flores from Milpa.
Yep.
So Sue and I had a great old fashioned. We shared a Mai Tai, fantastic. I had Mai Tai on my brain from a cocktail competition I had judged previously. So
you were in a tiki mood.
I wanted a classic Mai Tai because I had a Montenegro and tequila Mai Tai at this competition. So I wanted a classic one to remind me.
Actually.
So those were both fantastic. Our bartender's great. You had the bar team there. You're going to know them all. If you're a serious bar person, you're going to know everybody that you see there.
And you know what I like about that place? You open up the menu, and there's little pictures of each cocktail. I want to know what it looks like before I order it, because sometimes I get some old-fashioned type of cocktail, and they bring it out in some fancy martini or coupe glass. I don't want that. I want my rocks glass, and that may be a factor in how I order it.
There you go.
Or I can just ask for it on the rocks and stop being so difficult.
No, man, Sue and I are difficult when we order her old fashions, because we're always like, we want an old fashioned. That's an old fashioned. You could decide how you put the sugar in. You can add whatever bitters you fucking like. Then leave it alone. Don't light anything on fire. Don't put it under any fucking glass. You want to put a little orange on the rim or citrus on the rim, whatever. Yeah. Okay, that's as fancy as I want you to get. So they did a great old fashioned for her. My Mai Tai was good. For the food menu, we did arancini with pumpkin puree, as well as a gnocchi cacio e pepe. That's a little heavy, that dish, but very good.
I think we've had that one, and it's quite good from what I remember.
I love the place. Really love the place, man. We bumped into our friend, pastry chef Karis Kiwanis. So if she's in there, all the cool kids are hanging out there.
Definitely. She's so good at what she does.
Yes. Saturday morning, Andrew Morgan and I went to Red Rock to check out the 303 in the Cut pop-up. This is a local company with 2 food trucks and a brick and mortar on the way like any day now. They were set up in the Sportsbook Grill at Red Rock all day long. I had a few dishes. I had cheesesteak with hatch peppers. I'll tell you, I would do the cheesesteak without the hatch peppers, not because they're not good, but because this is one of the better cheesesteaks in Vegas for getting you that Philly vibe. And
so you don't want to kind of overwhelm that.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm it. With me, I would want sauteed onions, some cheese, some whiz maybe, and what else would I want? I think that's about all that I would really want. Yeah.
It's interesting. Red Rock's really getting motivated about hosting these pop-ups in that space. I think it's a good kind of, I don't know if it's an incubator for them. But it's a cool thing for them to bring in a few different guests here and there and give people an opportunity to try some different things. I mean, right there next to the sportsbook, kind of an unexpected spot.
Yeah. And it's the little grill where the sportsbook, you can usually go in, get your French fries, whatever, but they've been doing a lot of stuff in there. Oh, by the way, chicken fries. I mean, before we talk about what they're doing over there with all these things, I had chicken fries. These were like French fries with fried chicken cut up on top and like all kinds of sauces on them.
So they're real chicken fries.
I mean, it was just over the fucking top. I don't know, man. It was a bit much for me, but it was delicious. Then a cheesecake sandwich, which is kind of like take one slice of cheesecake, take another slice of cheesecake, put a little bit of mousse or whatever in between them, cut it so that you got the graham cracker on the side and serve it with some raspberry sauce if you want to dip it. I mean, decadent, stupid, delicious.
Yeah.
Yes, loved it. So first up, I spoke with owner Giulianio Rosso about the company.
We started as a late night food truck in Vegas right off the strip. We do American classics with a green chili twist. We don't have a lot on the menu. We just try to do what we do really well.
Okay. Why come in here and do the pop-up?
Red Rock is the heavy hitter of the entire city, right? Stations Casino is awesome. And it's an honor to get invited in. So if Red Rock asks you to come in, you're like, yeah, let's rock, dude. Yeah.
Whenever I see these, I wonder, are you guys kind of auditioning for a gig somewhere within the Station Casinos family?
I honestly don't know. That's a very good question. I'm not sure if they thought about that. Either way, I'm just grateful to be here, no matter what.
Cool. What is on your menu?
So we have a green chili burrito. We have a cheesesteak or a dirty dog. That's a deep fried hot dog with a cheesesteak on top of it, and a Kraken fried chicken fries. Then we make desserts, and we do cheesecake and tiramisu.
How is it for your team to be working in a kitchen this size instead of on a truck?
It's good. I think they're excited. We're on our 3rd location, opening a brick and mortar, so that's a bigger space to us. Then we get to do a day in here, which is even bigger than our restaurant that we have right now. So it's great.
And where can people find you? If they like what they get here, where else can they find you?
So we're in Chinatown 7 days a week. That one's been open 6 years. The one in Centennial has been open 2 years. That's open every single day as well. And then we have a restaurant in the southwest part of town, like a Durango and Windmill, a little bit past Rhodes Ranch entrance.
And that's open now?
That'll be open hopefully April 1st.
And there were lots of station execs on hand for the pop-up. So as you were saying, you don't know what they're doing. What are they over there? Are they auditioning people? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I decided I would once again ask kind of the same question I asked Joe Yalda of Red Rock every time I see him. So I spoke with him. We started off with just how he felt about having Giuliano in the casino.
I can't tell you how excited I am personally to try the cheesecake. I know our guest feedback has been through the roof, so we're expecting a lot of big lines and grateful to work with local people like this to bring these types of experiences to our resort.
How did you find 303 in the Cut?
Viral sensations. That's what we're looking at. Our goal is to bring as many of the viral sensations that we come across, especially on the local side, to just not only expose our guests, but drive a new guest to Red Rock that might have not been here before, and really showcase not only our service, but our ability to partner with everybody.
You're doing so many within Red Rock lately. I mean, not even lately. For a while, you've been doing them. We see a few going on over at Durango. Pop-ups seem to be in the blood, and we can't help noticing that you're building a new hotel tower right now. So everybody wants to know, are you auditioning concepts?
Listen, we're always looking for new concepts, and anytime we come across these great partners of ours, there's always a consideration for potentially putting them at one of our properties. But at the end of the day, the goal is to always bring new, great culinary experiences to our guests.
What's your favorite thing on the menu here?
The favorite thing for 303 on the Cut?
Yeah.
The cheesecake.
Okay, Rob. So, what I hinted at there with him was sort of
Yes.
that they've got a new resort. They're putting a new wing in at Durango. So I'm guessing they're going to have a lot of new restaurants in there. So here's my question. What would you like to see come into the Durango resort? You live about a 1-minute walk from the Durango resort. I live about a 9-minute walk from the Durango resort. What would you like to see there?
You know what? I might like to see, some traditional classic dim sum restaurant there that's affordable, and maybe it wouldn't be so hard to pick it up and go, because you and I both kind of live in this part of town, and it's such a strong, heavily Asian community, and there's a lots of little places to go and get great food, but just some classic dim sum. I always have to go a little farther than I would like to. I just want to grab something quick for dinner. So that would be my first vote. I think after Fiorella closes.
Yeah, they're going to need to get an Italian spot.
They're going to need an Italian spot. And I was kind of wondering, speculating, if you will, that that's part of the reason it did close, because maybe they have a deal with somebody else, or they have something else in mind for the new wing that's coming. But I did find out that the current Fiorella, this isn't confirmed, but somebody told me.
The one in Red Rock?
Who would know about these. Oh, no, the current Fiorella at Durango.
Oh, the one at Durango, which is closing.
That's going to be a VS Tacos, which is a California concept that specializes in homemade blue corn tortillas.
Yes, and that's what's his name? It's the same guy that's got the tacos, the Viva at Resorts World.
Is it?
He does BS Tacos, doesn't he? Pretty sure, because we used to.
No, this is Vias.
Oh, Vias.
Vias.
I thought you said
VILLAs. Like a via.
Via.
Where you might want to spend your vacation in a via.
So we don't know who it is behind it.
I don't know who's behind it. I kind of pulled up their website just to see what they were about when I heard the name. But I mean, it looks great. It's sort of like a street taco type concept, but they already have Mijo, which is their fancy Mexican restaurant, which actually I love and I think has a great happy hour. But they're going to have an even more casual alternative in the old Fiorella space, which was originally a pasta bar, as they described it. I love that place. I'm sad to see it go. But welcome Vias Tacos, if that is official, once it's announced.
Okay, so for my friends who work at Red Rock, I've kind of said this to all of them, and they looked at me like, yeah, this is why you're not a restaurant guru at a hotel. But you need a new Italian restaurant. I think you need a little more high end at Durango. I think you need, and don't get me wrong, Nico's Steak is really good. It's a very good restaurant. The steakhouses are always great at at station casinos. But
pretty much all of them. Yeah,
I say you go crazy and you turn Mark Vetri loose and let him do the kind of shit that he was doing at the top of the Palms, and we do a fine dining. I think it would do better on this side of town than it would do at the Palms, to be completely honest.
That's interesting, because I remember there's a little wild game and some other fun stuff on that menu, and such a beautiful space at the top of the Palms. I would like to see what he could do. I love his restaurant at Red Rock Resort as well, and that's been a space that's been a tough nut to crack, with so many Italian concepts rotating in and out.
And that's been a good Italian concept, but a little too close to what everybody else's Italian is. I mean, I love that it's there. But with it there, do I need another of that type of Italian over at Durango? This is where I say maybe they go out of the box. Maybe they get a little crazy with it. That's just me.
I would love that. Maybe give them that side gridiron. What is it? The space next to the sports book. Yeah. Be like, you know what? We're using this for a million different things. Go nuts and do something crazy. It's tricky when you're in a casino. You're going to have people in your ear saying, "Well, you have to have this for." The average customer, and you're going to have, what people expect. So if you
but Durango brings in fucking money. There's a lot of money on the west side of town, and it's young money, and it's smart young dining money. It's people that I accredit it to the fact that we have all these athletes living in this town now, and they're young families and whatever. But anyways, okay, too much of me just trying to give advice to people that don't want my advice.
Don't encourage them to raise prices, Al.
No, but make something be really, really cool. Yeah. What else? So Sue and I went to the 8th anniversary party for Manzu, which was great.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
In the parking lot, Gio was melting cheese over a grill, grilling the bread, making
In the
lemon.
parking lot?
Yeah, out in the parking lot,
Like a
giving them
block
away.
party or something? What's going on?
It was fucking awesome. And then inside, Naomi was on stage with his wife with a jazz trio, which was great. Our friend Nicole Brisson was there. Nicole Brisson talking about some secrets that she has that I think she's telling people publicly, but she doesn't want me to tell anybody publicly.
I
yet.
know the secret.
Don't talk.
I'm not going to say anything.
She wants us to keep our shit, quiet for a little while.
But let's just say she's great.
Yes, we love her.
Brezza.
Yes.
In case people don't know, Nicole Brisson of Brezza at Resorts World.
Of Brezza at Resorts World. Okay, finally for me, Don's birthday party. You were there.
I was.
We were over at the Stove. Great place for a party brunch. We had a lot of fun. I did a burrito. I did some sausage po' boy, some eggs Benedict, bottomless booze, which really means they bring you a bottle of cheap champagne and a tiny little eyedropper of orange juice because,
Well, that's the way I like it.
That's the way most people like it.
I like my mimosas very pale.
Yes.
Just a little touch of OJ.
So, so we did that. We had a lot of fun out there. It was great hanging out with Don on his birthday, and we saw Stacy, and we saw, all the regulars.
A good party, good people.
Yes.
And also I had a manmosa.
A manmosa, you did.
So
yes.
I believe it was bullet bourbon, some orange bitters, some actual OJ Cointreau, and some champagne, which sounds kind of like a mess when you add all that stuff together.
Yeah.
But it was actually quite good and quite refreshing.
Awesome.
I had 3, I believe.
I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just thinking that over in my head why I would put Cointreau in with the orange juice, but I don't know.
There's a chance I'm not remembering it fully.
Yeah, there's also a chance I don't know what I'm talking about. So,
but you know what? Go to the Stove. Great views, great part of Henderson, and order the manmosa and see what it's about for yourself.
Yes. Rob, you and I, we were at I've got these interviews coming up in the next section, just a couple minutes away with the folks from the JW Marriott, Summerlin, the resort at Summerlin, the new 2 places. But you and I both went to a little media preview of Tacos 1986 and For the Win Burgers. So what do you think, just generally, how do they fit in? I'm going to do these full interviews in a minute, but how do you feel about how they fit into what the resort at Summerlin is doing? Because I am blown away by the restaurant program that they've been building. I don't want to say quietly because they invite us into everything, but kind of one step at a time over there, over the past. Used to be Hawthorne Grill was great and Jade was decent Asian place, but now they've got Ipazi in there, they've got the Oyster Bar, they've got all of this, and I think this taco place and a burger place are a great addition.
Yes, I love the revamp they've been doing with their whole culinary wing, so to speak. You got Wino in there too.
Yeah,
Second Wino is in there, and that's doing great. It's really interesting because Ipazi, which you brought up, I think is a great Italian restaurant. I really like what they're doing there, and it's very locals oriented. I think they're really catching on to something there. I think it's fair prices and great food. With the addition of these 2 new concepts, Tacos 1986 and For the Win Burgers, they're kind of almost sharing a same space. They're sort of complementing what's going on, very casual. Dare I say, it's food hall-esque.
Oh, it's very food hall-esque. Very food hall.
And I know the food hall trend is sort of dying down a little bit, but I think the resort at Summerlin, formerly known as JW Marriott, is making it work and giving their customers some really interesting options there.
Yeah, I like what they do. The tacos are simple. They've got 4 proteins that you can get out of there. You got all the basics, and then a really good mushroom one. What they call a taco is a street taco. What they call a quesadilla is a street taco with cheese.
Right. Sometimes you go to these Mexican restaurants, or they're called Mexican restaurants, but you get this quesadilla, and it kind of looks like something that belongs on the children's menu,
or on TGI Fridays.
Yeah, exactly. And it's basically a Mexican version of a grilled cheese, but this was more like a flat taco, if you could describe it that way, with some ample avocado on top. And I thought it was very good and better than what people might expect.
Yes. And then over at For the Win Burgers, you do double, triple smash burger, cheeseburger, veggie burger. You get a chicken sandwich. They've got fries, sweet potato fries, loaded fries. And believe it or not, for a kind of a food hall burger spot, they have Brussels sprouts on the menu. So that's interesting.
Can I give them a compliment on bringing back the triple cheeseburger?
Sure.
Who else is doing a triple cheeseburger?
I see them from time to time, but you're right. They're pretty. They're not there. Okay, we've gone over. This should be an entire episode about what we've done so far, but we're less than halfway through it. So in just a moment, you're going to hear from the owners of those two restaurants we spoke about, followed by a happy hour report and some news. And of course, Rob's going to be back. This is Food and Loathing. So before the break, Rob and I told you about our experience at Tacos 1986 and For the Win Burgers. Now, as promised, my interviews. Let's start with Jorge Humberto Alvarez Tostalo, who likes to be known as Chef Joy of Tacos 1986. So what can you tell me about this concept? Where did it begin, and how does it differentiate itself from some of the other Mexican concepts in Las Vegas?
Got it. This concept started because my partner, Victor Manuel Delgado, who's from Tijuana, like myself, decided that there was a gap in the beautiful city of Los Angeles of a Tijuana-style taco. There's a lot of taquerias in LA, 3,000 and some change to be exact, and 5,000 and some change Latino restaurants that offer a taco type or a burrito type of restaurant. But he saw a gap for a taco that we grew up eating in Tijuana. We grew up in the same neighborhood. So he called me. I knew how to make the food. And November 2018, late November, we set up on the corner of Highland and Lexington in Hollywood. As a taco cart, we sold $16.43. Victor turns around and looks at me. Hey man, like, what are we supposed to do? And he said, we're supposed to open tomorrow. And we just kept at it every day. Those $16 the next day turned into, I don't know why or what. But what I do know is because of opening, Ben Hundreds from the Hundreds showed up with a guy from Eater magazine, and that changed everything for us. The next day we had a line in this parking lot that we used to sublet for $600, like I said, in Hollywood. So a persistent grind every day, setting up carts, setting up lights. The first day we didn't even have lights. Like, we sold those quesadillas with no lights.
So when did you go from a cart to a brick and mortar?
We got shut down by the health department 3 months after March, when we were already busy. We were on the cover of the LA Times. We were named like 16 best restaurants by Eater in 2019, the beginning of 2019. And in March 2019, we got shut down by the health department. So all we had was a catering business. So we got invited to Coachella, which was a whole cool experience, very punk rock kind of taco experience, where I was the only cook and 9 kids from Tijuana showed up, and we made it happen, and we were top sellers, one of the top selling companies. And so that being said, we met a restaurateur from Los Angeles, and he offered us a 50-50 deal on a store in downtown LA, and we took it. So once we took it and we performed, opportunities started arising. We soon grew into Westwood, then Beverly and La Brea, Burbank, Pasadena, Santa Monica, Sherman Oaks, and Northridge, and one in the beautiful, amazing city of New York that we love, where I used to cook and I learned how to cook. So, and I used to live on Cornelia, where the taqueria is.
So you say that I didn't mean to interrupt you. You say that and I appreciate it. Yeah. But before we start talking about Vegas, I want to ask. You say that there was something missing in the market, and that was a Tijuana style taco. Now, I've been to Tijuana, and I've been to some interesting places in Tijuana. I don't remember the tacos. I don't remember what made the tacos special. I remember the zebra-painted horses, and I remember the brothel that my wife and I hung out in about an hour, but I don't remember the tacos. So what makes a Tijuana-style taco?
That is a great question. Tijuana-style taco starts off with a handmade corn tortilla, yellow tortilla, not white, yellow corn tortilla with grilled meats. In our case, carne asada, pollo asado, but in Tijuana is usually carne asada or tripe or chorizo, anything that you can cook over the grill. and the vertical spit, el trompo de adobada, also known as al pastor, but more authentic Tijuana, we call it adobada. Those are the two tacos that we represent the highest, and it comes with onion, cilantro, guacamole, fresh guacamole. In our house, it's only lime and salt. Good limes, good avocados, and a salsa ranchera, tomato-based salsa. So what is a taco, a Tijuana-style taco? It's a handmade corn tortilla with your choice of carne asada, adobada, onion, cilantro, guacamole, and salsa.
Great, thank you. So what convinced you that you wanted to try Las Vegas out? And when you're looking at Las Vegas, what makes you decide to come out to the burbs and not try to do something on the Strip or downtown?
Oh, that is a great question, Al. We decided to come into the heart of Summerlin because we believe that Tacos 1986 made an impact in a community where we could cater, where we could be in the homes of gatherings of people over 50, weddings of 100 people or more. We feel that we thrive and for corporate events. So we wanted to get the brand situated where we feel that we could cater, and the Rampart Hotel, the resort at Summerlin, offered us an opportunity we couldn't refuse, and we felt that we could make an impact here to the community, right, as opposed to the Strip where we would depend on tourism and people that come in and out of the city. We wanted to hit where the locals were at, where the locals go out and gamble, where the locals go out and you know, more community. Right. Yeah.
Cool. So what do you feel about this restaurant collection they put together over here at this resort? Because it's pretty amazing.
It's super amazing. I never in my dreams would feel or know or dreamt that I could be in front of No Moi, the first dumpling restaurant in the city of New York, and to be next to them and have the same colors, the same branding, red and white. It's amazing. And to be here with our friends from Los Angeles for the Win, who I box with Santos, or I've seen him at the gym. I've never boxed with him, but we know each other. It's really cool.
And shortly after that, I sat down with For the Win Burgers creator, Santos Yu. Let's start with where the inspiration for the Win came from, because I know your background is in more French cuisine, correct?
Yes. So I own a French bistro called Papi. Honestly, I started in the front of the house. My background is wine. So if I were to, say that I have a profession, I would say wine would be my first. Okay. And then in Papi, I went through a few chefs. My last chef, I had to fire him, so I was like, screw it, man. I'm going to do this myself. And it's not that he didn't have an experience. I would work on the line with my previous chefs. I always felt that I would become a chef ever since I was a teenager. I loved to cook. And I just felt that I had the intuition for it. Some people have it, some people don't. You could see it, right, when you start working with people. And so 2018 is when I started working as the chef owner of the restaurant. I still bought the wine, so that was cool. And then we got a Michelin Bib Gourmand. That was awesome. And then so I was right before COVID hit. I was working on doing a burger concept because I'd had George Motz's smash burger, and I was like, this is great. This is something I want to do too. So I was gonna do that anyway, like for the lunch service. But then when COVID hit, I was like, dude, let's just start this project right now. Mm-hmm. And then we already had a following because of the French bistro and all that. So it became a success where it started to eclipse the sales of the bistro when we were allowed to dine in again. Mm-hmm. So it's easier, less moving parts. So we just decided to switch completely to the burger restaurant. Now for the Win, a lot of people ask about the name. I always have like this working name of like, oh, this, just in the middle of the day, I'm like, oh, this would be a good name for a restaurant. For the Win was one of them. There were like 20 names. And I settled for the Win. It's a reference to sports. So obviously, if you think of Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, right, down by one, last shot of the game, Kobe for the win. So he makes it. Or Robert Ory, awesome shot, right? It's like this awesome moment. So we have an open kitchen, and when I was making the burgers first, I would watch people eat, and you would see the reactions on their face, and a few of them, every day would just come up and like they would shake my hand like, sir, that was the best burger I've ever had in my life. or top 3 burgers or whatever it was. Right. So I would call that the For the Win moment, right? So the name that so just looking over that list of names like For the Win, that's it.
Okay, so I'm old enough to remember the first kind of celebrity chef burger movement when my friend Hubert Keller started Burger Bar, and this was after Danielle Boulud had put a burger on. We're going back 20 years, and those were heavy steak burgers with gourmet things, foie gras, all that kind of stuff on top. That moment came and went, but right now we're at a smash burger moment. Are you doing smash burgers?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems like right now everybody wants to make a great smash burger. The public appetite and attention is turned to smash burgers. So here's my question. How do you make a smash burger stand out from the crowd? Because they are such a throwback to a simpler time.
Yeah, smash burgers are really easy. If you think about what you just talked about in terms of the chefy burgers, there are a lot of different components, right? And there's a lot more that you can touch, right? In terms of, okay, there are 10 components here, and like I could really make a killer, whatever, sous vide. Right. And then it's like, I know another chef might make whatever sauce, a Béarnaise or Bordelaise or something. Right. Like Chef Ludo's burger, right? Mm-hmm. Ton of Bordelaise on that. So, but they're almost always, it's going to be the same. It's just everyone's using Martin's. It's the best one. Beef that's smashed, some form of onion. Everyone's using American. You have to use American cheese. Yeah. So the one thing that kind of really sticks out is the sauce. Of course, a lot of people are using a very similar sauce. It's called a fry sauce. Is a generic name of it. It's basically mayonnaise and ketchup, and then you could embellish it however you want. So that's where I feel that we are, different and better in the sense that our sauce is killer. It, the same approach that I took to making sauces in my French restaurant, and we made sauces all the time. Every single dish had a sauce. I love sauces. I love it because I love wine. Complexity in wine, the nuance in wine. It's you could tell like an objectively good wine. So these like kind of liquid foods in a sense. So I brought that into the sauce, and it took me 9 months to kind of finalize what I wanted, adjusting the acidity, the sweetness, the heat, everything. But going back to the application of the building of the burger itself, it's like you can take these simple components that everyone's using, and you could treat them a little bit differently. How are you going to toast your buns? How are you going to treat your onions? How thick are you going to cut them? How long are you going to cook them? How much pepper are you going to use? How much salt are you going to use? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What type of pickle? So there are a lot of different things, and I believe it's like, just like music, it's like, there's so many chord progressions you could do for a melody. Right. There's sometimes a really, really good one, right? Beethoven got it, John Lennon got it, Paul McCartney, certain people get it. And when you hit that nice chord progression, like, wow, that's pretty genius. Mm-hmm. And it's like someone else could make a very similar chord progression, but it's just not there. Right? So that's what I believe, biased. That's what I believe we have.
Okay. I am smelling in the background what I guess would be one of your more interesting side dishes here. I smell Brussels sprouts. There's a very distinct aroma. You don't usually see Brussels sprouts at a smash burger joint, so what's that all about?
Well, you gotta have at least one health thing, right? I was kidding. No, I think burgers are actually a health food. I mean, you take the burger apart, it's like, oh, there's your meat, oh, there's your cheese, oh, there's your vegetable, and there's your bread. So you put it together and automatically it's not a health food anymore. It is. So the Brussels sprouts are holdover actually from our French bistro. It was one of our sides. We always had, some mashed potato, some type of green vegetable, whatever it may be. And Brussels sprouts were something that we could easily bring over because they are deep fried. And that's, you fry anything in tallow, it's going to taste delicious. And then, we apply the appropriate amount of salt and acidity and sweetness to it. It's very standardized, and it's a secret recipe. It's not that secret. The little secret things. Secret things that we do and everything. That's how you can make that little complexity where someone's like, oh, that's cool. What is that?
You spoke about, the hamburger should not be considered a junk food because you'd break it down to its base components, and these are healthy things. I think the reason it's considered a junk food is for many, many decades, it was whatever scrap beef people could get. It was whatever cheap cheese people could throw on it. Clearly, you're elevating those ingredients. Can you tell me anything about the blend on the beef or where you get your cheese or any of that stuff?
So we use an 8119. I'll just tell you that. But I'll tell you this. In terms of the beef, ground beef, as long as it doesn't have any filler or anything like that, and if it comes from decent cows, it's actually going to be really good for you. And what I learned, I read this book, where a lot of ground beef in America comes from older retired cows, because you can't really use them for anything else. They're a little bit too strongly flavored and funky to make a steak. But guess what? Old beef is delicious, and when you're making ground beef with it, it's going to be delicious. So I would say that a lot of ground beef in America, I believe still is going to be delicious anyway. In terms of the blend, I'll tell you, 8119 is what we use. Okay. But yeah.
Do you blend your own meat, or do you get it from a supplier?
We don't. Yeah. So honestly, we taste a lot of beef. We do this maybe once every 2 years or so, and then we'll do some blind tests, and then we'll choose the one, and we'll make it by itself with onions, as a double, as a single, and we'll just eat a bunch of burgers, and we'll take notes, and then we'll see what we believe is going to be the best tasting product.
Cool. So you have the smash burgers. You get them single or double. You also have a veggie burger and a chicken sandwich on the menu. You've got some interesting add-ons: bacon, jalapenos, lettuce, tomato, all that stuff. The fries. But I'm getting excited because I'm looking over at your shakes and soft serve. And soft serve is really interesting to me. A lot of people suddenly in Vegas have rediscovered soft serve. What is it about that made you want to put it on your menu?
Well, honestly, we would have gone with the ice cream routes for the milkshakes, but they had access to the soft serve machine. One of the guys in the upper management really loved what they were serving, so he's like, "No, I want you guys to use this, and it's delicious." Okay. So we adjusted it to make our milkshakes. We haven't made them yet today. I don't think we're eating it. So we adjusted it because it's a different amount of cream. There's obviously air in it, so it's like, how can we make it similar to a normal milkshake? And then we have we have a secret that we put, and it's very decadent. So they're really delicious. And in terms of this whole thing towards soft serve, yeah, man, soft serve is awesome. Yeah. I'm glad we're using soft serve here. Yeah.
Cool. Why Vegas, and why the suburbs in Vegas?
So again, this all kind of happened, happenstance, right? So we were in Vegas last year for my buddy's birthday, and these guys, this hotel, was looking for a burger concept. So they already found Tacos 1986, and the 86 guys were like, "Hey, why don't you check out For the Win?" So they contacted us, and we happened to be in Vegas at the time. So we'll drive over to Summerlin, and we'll check it out. And they're right in the middle of their renovation, $75 million renovation. And we're like, wow, this place is beautiful. And they're convincing, look, we have a bunch of locals here. The whole thing about COVID, we didn't really suffer from it. It was awesome. We always get these conventions. We're doing this food hall. Look at the guys we have, these Aipatsi. 1986 is here. The Wino guys are coming. And we were sold. I visit Vegas once or twice a year anyway. But usually on the Strip, this is kind of the first time that I've spent a considerable amount of time off the Strip, and it's fantastic. I like Las Vegans, so however you call you guys. People in Las Vegas are awesome. They're so nice. I think we're really lucky to be here, because if we chose to go to Vegas ourselves, I'm not sure if we would have ended up here in Summerlin, especially at such a the resort at Summerlin. It's awesome. So I think we got really lucky.
Up next, Andrew Morgan with the Happy Hour Report and the news. This is Food and Loathing.
Need a restaurant recommendation? Then you need Neon Feast, the most convenient, most comprehensive, and most trustworthy collection of Las Vegas restaurant recommendations on the internet. Veteran food journalist Al Mancini, whom you might remember from, listening to this podcast, asked the city's top chefs, restaurateurs, critics, journalists, and influencers for their favorite spots in more than 100 categories. Why take the advice of an anonymous online wannabe or a paid influencer? Neon Feast will tell you where people in the industry send their family and friends for a great date night, to watch a big game, or get a taste of Old Vegas. Looking for a great steakhouse? You want a great burger? Maybe a little caviar? Need a place in Summerlin South, the Arts District, or Seven Hills? Las Vegas brings the neon. Local foodies provide the feast at neonfeast.com or the Neon Feast mobile app.
It's time to raise your glass, and if you do not have a glass to raise, do not worry, because the guy that I am sitting with right now will tell you how to get a full glass to raise at a good deal, maybe discover some new stuff. I can only be talking about Andrew Morgan of happyhourvegas.com, who is back here on this podcast with his weekly happy hour report.
How's it going, man?
You know, it's going. Another day in paradise. It's suddenly summertime. I don't know how that happened. So how's your day going?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it's like you said, nice weather, kind of getting around, seeing what else is around outside of my comfort zone. So found myself down in Henderson at Water Street, actually, as a matter of fact. So when was the last time you were there?
Water Street, Henderson. I actually went back to Azzurra Cucina not that long ago, which is a fantastic Italian restaurant. I went in there. Finally, it's almost impossible to get a reservation. I had some friends hook me up. I went in there, had a fantastic meal, but we did not explore because it's really hard to get a pulse of Water Street.
Yeah, so Azzurra has a happy hour, the wine bar and the cucina. There's about 6 happy hours over there. So good little happy hour scene. Pretty excited about that. I didn't get to update all of them, but I'll be working on that in the next little while. But the 2 that I did find, which are super fun, easy going, just the way Water Street is. One is Sticks Tavern. I don't know if you've ever been there or not. It's kind of a sports bar kind of thing. Water Street open, pretty much every day, 3 to 6 p.m. It serves your regular bar food. Little Big Burger, $5. Pretty good deal. And it's actually really tasty. And then draft beers for $3, wines for $5, But the other thing that's kicker is happy hour all day on Monday.
Wow. Okay. So good deals. I haven't been to Sticks since the change of ownership over there, but I always liked the place. I liked it under the past owners. I am a big fan, so that's a good reason for me to get back. There's also who practices at that hockey rink right across the street?
Yeah, it's the Silver Knights, isn't that it? They're
is that their practice facility?
Oh God, I don't know. I was there for the poutine and the beer, not the hockey.
Okay, man. Trying to pretend I knew something. Okay, so we hit there. We go down to Sticks Tavern, great place. We get the mini tiny burger. We get some good beers, good price, and then we want to stretch our legs. Where do we head?
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't mention poutine in vain because yes, hockey players, Canadians, poutine, they love that stuff. And there's a poutine at Sticks Tavern. Happy hour, really good, $5. But you can also go kind of like just adjacent, biscuits and bourbon. Also has a great happy hour. Also has a great poutine on their happy hour menu.
Yeah. And they also make great biscuits and they serve pretty fucking good bourbon.
It's actually really fucking good, actually. I really enjoyed myself there. Happy hour, 2 to 5 p.m. and then again, 8 to 10 p.m. on Sunday through Thursdays. So half off small plates like country poutine, smoked wings. Just a great deal, great vibe there.
Okay, there you go. Get your asses down to Water Street, explore a little bit, and before you plan your trip, go to happyhourvegas.com and see what Andrew has also dug up in addition to what he told us right now. Andrew, you going to be back next week with another one of these?
You know it. I've had some good ones next week.
And we are back. We are with the news. Thank you, Andrew, for that happy hour report. And, of course, thanks to our friends at 1986. And
Al, do you remember 1986?
Do I remember 1986? Dude, I'm fucking old. Of course I remember 1986. It's the year I graduated high school, the year I started Seton Hall University, the year I tried to get myself really in with a heavy metal radio station, which was the beginning of my lifelong work associated with music. 1986 was a good fucking year.
Were you a fixture at CBGB's yet? yet?
No. 1991, Sue and I were married. We moved into New York City. I lost my job managing a recording studio, and I needed a job. And I looked in the Village Voice, and I found a $5 an hour job running the CBGB record and T-shirt store within the pizza place. And then I eventually went on to make really bad pizzas at CBGB.
I feel like that fits the vibe, though. You can't have a pizza be too good at a place like CBGB.
No. Do you remember 1986?
Oh, yeah, I remember it well.
Do anything fun?
I think I was like reading wrestling magazines and playing with Transformers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for that. Good on that. Okay. Now the news. Echo and Rig has a new recurring Monday night dining series called Chef's Table at the Henderson location, and it is launching on March 30th. I'm still trying to schedule some time with Sam Marvin to discuss this, but here's what it says on their website. On select Mondays throughout the year, we take over the entire restaurant and serve one curated menu built around a single concept. From steakhouse classics and wine pairing dinners to ranch collaborations, cocktail features, and seasonal menus. For the evening, every seat becomes a chef's table, one menu, one concept, one night, and you. Okay, so the kickoff is on March 30th, 200 seats available. The menu that night includes an amuse-bouche, unlimited Caesar salad, full-blooded Wagyu strip steak, and Kennebec fries, and then a berry cobbler a la mode for dessert, $55 plus tax and tip. There are add-ons, including a wine pairing, but dude, $55 for that, man. That's
these days, $55 is considered a good price for the steak alone. So if you're getting this with everything else included, I like the idea of unlimited Caesar salad.
Yeah.
So if I run out, I can be like, more, please.
More, please. Yes.
Yes. And keep going.
Just keep as long as you can. You can be that guy.
So even if I wrap up with the berry cobbler, I could be like, you know what? I still need a little more Caesar
I think
salad.
you should. I think you should do that. Then I think you should tip double after being that guy.
For being that guy. Yeah. But no, this is a good deal. And also, Sam Marvin is just a guy who knows his steaks.
Oh, yeah.
Does such a good job of butchering, of sourcing cuts. I think this is a great idea for dinner. I think people should go. I endorse.
I'm with you. Soul Belly Barbecue's Bros Coleman will host an online cooking class at noon on Saturday, March 28th. I got too much to do that day. I got to do a podcasting seminar and then host a gala that night. So sorry, Bruce, I'm not going to be able to do that.
So you don't have time to cook in front of the laptop.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't. Plus, I'm a bad cook. Tickets for that are, I believe...
Well, it's for you then, if you're a bad cook. He will teach you.
I know I'm a bad learner, too.
Oh, well, then maybe not.
Tickets are $55 through Eventbrite, so check that out.
Yeah, and Bruce is so talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a video online saying that Southern California is the Hat, known for its pastrami's, coming to Las Vegas. Some YouTubers called K and J Stay in Vegas. They're all about the permitting has been done, blah, 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 blah. Honestly, I'm never one to check permits. They're really, really never that accurate. So I'm going to wait until I hear something from the restaurant itself because I haven't seen the place. I haven't done anything. Rob, you know anything?
Actually, I do. You don't even need to worry about the permits because the thing is almost built. It's on Rainbow. I was driving down Rainbow not too long ago, and I'm like, what's this? The Hat. And apparently it's this pastrami place that has a great reputation. And you know what's kind of cool is like you see it being built, you get a little excited when you see a new restaurant concept like built in standalone format from the ground up. This isn't part of a strip mall. This isn't like tucked away in a casino. The Hat is like a big giant hat popping out of the ground. It's a whole new restaurant. I think there's a drive-through, but it got my attention, so I'm curious to see what it's all about. And I like pastrami.
Is it shaped like a hat?
It's got a funky shape, so maybe that's the idea.
That would be cool. Can you pull a rabbit out of it?
I don't have that information.
Okay. Well, these are the questions people want to know. Hey, man, I'm sorry. We're getting towards the end of the news. I got to turn to the sad news, but they can't not talk about this, can't not send out some love to Tommy and Donna Rocker. And they are the owners of Tommy Rocker's chain, which they created so musician Tommy would have a home base for performing. Donna has announced online that Tommy has entered hospice care as he enters the final phase of his battle with Parkinson's disease.
Very sad news.
Very, very sad news. For years, Tommy Rocker's Mojave Beach Bar and Grill on Dean Martin hosted the legendary Back of the House Brawl, late night chef battles, which were the most insane things ever to go on in this town. Tommy and Donna also regulars at VGK games, where Tommy's gold jacket and their aisle seats behind the goal, you could see them all the time up on Nitron. And honestly, during playoff games, I'd watch TV, the away games, and I'd see Tommy and Donna sitting in like the third row with him in his glittery gold jacket. So they have been fantastic friends to me and my wife, Sue. They've shared their seats at Golden Knights games with us. They're just super cool people. I wish them all the love in the world as they confront this. Obviously, Donna's handling this in a very brave and classy way online. If you want to send a card, say goodbye in person. Tommy is at the Lumina Las Vegas on West Charleston, and visiting hours are 8 to 8. But I want to say, Tommy Rockers, everybody who grew up in this town, they used to party at a Tommy Rockers, people are like, oh, when I was in UNLV, we would go to a Tommy Rockers, and he's a great guy. She's a wonderful woman, and I feel so bad for them, and I just want to send them out some love.
And, I got a soft spot for places that are close to the Strip, but are like locals oriented. And this is one of those places. So, if you're feeling the emotion, go down there, show them some love, spend a little money, and see what the vibe is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. That's about it for this week. Rob, I hope you had some fun. I know you got a busy day out there and you carved out some time for me.
This is good. This was a good way to break up my day. And thanks for having me on.
Cool. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Before I do our sign-offs, I want to make sure people know what you're up to, what CityCast has coming up. Anything you need to plug? This is the obligatory plug section of the podcast.
We have a little bit of a funky web address, so I always say just Google CityCast Las Vegas. It'll come right up. You can subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. Subscribe to our podcast. It's daily. Nobody's doing a daily podcast the way we're doing it, and it's free every day. It just makes you a little more in tune to what we're all about. And usually they're like about 20 minutes long. So that's kind of like a commute, right? So when you're driving to work, start the day with CityCast and get a little more in touch with what we're all about in this town.
Okay, I endorse that. As for me, you can hear me with weekly updates on all three of the Highway Drive radio networks, Highway Vibe, Highway Country, and KNAC FM. Andrew Morgan and I can be seen from time to time on the CW and News 3 Las Vegas, talking food with our friend Chloe Coast. And you can find some Neon Feast writings at LasVegasAdvisor.com. You can find more news at foodandloathing.vegas, including a weekly dining and entertainment update by Bob Barnes. This week, Bob talks about a gin class at the Las Vegas Distillery, a wine dinner at Grapevine Cafe, the Pizza Expo tailgate party at Pizza Rock, a disco farm table dinner at Honey Salt, a collaboration dinner at Palette, Vegas Unstripped at the Palms Pool, Siena Italian Trattoria, March Madness special, Andiamo Steakhouse prefix deal, Passover dinner at Siegel's Bagel Mania, and a Che Fico Pizzeria pop-up at Aria. His pick of this week this pick of the week this week is Ooh La La French Bistro. Jesus Christ, Rob.
There's so
Bob
much going
Barnes
on.
Covers so
Bob
much.
Barnes is the man about town.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Another cool thing we have on our website is the culinary event calendar, where we curate what we consider a pretty cool list of pop-ups, collaborations, residencies, and special dinners. They include a cocktail class at the Las Vegas Distillery, as well as a beer festival on Saturday the 21st, both of those. Pizza party on the 23rd, that disco farm table.
I think you just said that. Didn't you say all this?
Yeah, those were things that are in Rob's, but we have different things on this calendar.
And Bob's.
Bob's, yeah, sorry. And we have the events at Delilah and Nico's and things like that on that calendar. So check that out. With all that said, thanks to all of our guests, Chef Joy, Santos Yui, I apologize, Chef, Robby, Cunningham, Giulianio Rosso, Joe Yalda, I'm Al Mancini. Thank you, Rob Kachelriess, for being here again. On behalf of Gemini, Stevens, and Rich Johnson, I'm wishing everybody out there good eating and a good appetite so that you can always stay hungry.